Welcome to Pebbles channel. Now we are moving in to the next level of French. The 4 basic skills of communication for any language are listening, speaking, reading and writing. So in this class, we are going to learn how to communicate in French through listening, speaking, reading and writing. So, are you ready to begin? First, we are going to learn the basic questions we ask in French. I am going to show you some conversations where these questions are used, and then we are going to try to use these questions in our daily conversations. So, shall we begin? The first question we are going to learn is Comment vous vous appelez? Comment vous vous appelez? This means what is your name? To be precise, what do you call yourself? Or what is your name? Comment vous vous appelez? So try to say it along with me. Comment vous vous appelez? It means what is your name? So now here I have a conversation. So let us try to read this conversation and translate it. So it is a conversation between a tourist guide and a tourist. La guide and le touriste. So first, la guide. He says, Bonjour monsieur. Bonjour monsieur. It means good morning sir. Bonjour, good morning sir. So the tourist replies, la touriste, Bonjour madame. Bonjour madame. It is good morning madam. So the guide greets the tourist and the tourist replies by greeting the guide. So how do we greet a person? We say bonjour. Bonjour monsieur. It means good morning sir. And the tourist says bonjour madame. Good morning madam. Now the next line, la guide. The guide asks, vous vous appelez comment? Yes, you must have guessed. It means what is your name? You call yourself what? So, comment vous vous appelez? This is another way in which you can ask the same question. Vous vous appelez comment? So, the tourist says his name. Legrand. Vincent Legrand. So, now we have read this conversation and you know the meaning of it. So, what did we learn in this conversation? We learned how to use this basic question. Comment vous vous appelez? Or vous vous appelez comment? So I hope you understood this conversation. So now we will move on to the next conversation. Now moving on to the next conversation. So this is also a conversation between a tourist and a guide. So shall we read it? La touriste. Je m'appelle Escoito. So he is saying, my name is. Je m'appelle. So this is how we respond to the question, comment vous vous appelez? They ask, what is your name? How would you reply? Je m'appelle. And you say your name. So in this sentence, la touriste says, je m'appelle Escoito. So la guide, he asks, comment? Comment? What? So, la touriste replies, Escogido Amparo. So, he says his name once again. Now, la guide, he says, vous pouvez appeler s'il vous plaît? Vous pouvez appeler s'il vous plaît? This sentence means, you, pouvez means can, appeler is to spell. As we know, s'il vous plaît means please. So, la guide says, can you spell it please? Vous pouvez appeler s'il vous plaît. So, once again, the tourist, he says, je m'appelle Escogito. He says his name. So, la guide, he asks, comment, what? The tourist says his name, Escogito Amparo. And for that, the guide asks, vous pouvez appeler s'il vous plaît. Can you spell it please? So, the tourist spells out his name. So, I think we already learnt the alphabets. So, we know how to pronounce the alphabets. A, S, C, O, J, E, D, O. So, the tourist spells out his name. So, la guide says, merci. Merci is, yes, merci means thank you. So, now we know what is the meaning of this conversation. So, this is the question we are learning about. Comment vous vous appelez? And how would you reply? You would say, je m'appelle and your name. And if you are asked to spell your name, if anybody asks you, vous pouvez appeler s'il vous plaît, you also know how to spell out your name. If you know the pronunciation for the alphabets, you can spell out your name. And at the end of any conversation, if you want to say thank you, you say merci. So now we move on to one more conversation. The next conversation is a very short one. So the guide is asking l'enfant. L'enfant means the child. L'enfant. So the guide is asking, et toi, and you. Et toi, comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? And you, what is your name? So if you notice, when asking the adult, he asked, comment vous vous appelez? So he used vous. But when asking the child the same question, what is your name? He used the subject tu. So we need to know this difference. Tu is second person singular and vous is second person plural. However, when speaking to someone of respect, when we want to give respect, we use vous for second person singular as well. So, when the guide asks the question to an adult or someone he respects, he says, comment vous vous appelez? But the guide, when asking the child, he asks, comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? And the child, l'enfant, responds saying, Clara. So now we have learned how to ask this question. What is your name? Comment vous vous appelez? What is your name? And how would you answer? You would say, je m'appelle, and you would say your name. So now I hope you have understood how to use this question. So next we are going to see about the verb used in this question, appeler. So in different situations we have to conjugate this differently. When you say je, it is je m'appelle. When you say tu, it is tu t'appelles, and so on. So now we are going to learn the conjugation. Now these are the cases in which we would use appeler. That is, the infinitive of this is appeler, which means to call oneself. So when you use it in the first person singular, that is je. When you want to say my name is, je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. This is actually I call myself. Je m'appelle. But since there is a vowel clash here, we replace this with an apostrophe. So, je m'appelle. I call myself, and then you say your name. Similarly, when you're using it for the second person singular, tu t'appelles, your name is. Similar to the first one, here it is actually tu t'appelles. You call yourself. So because of the vowel clash, it is tu t'appelles. When using it in the first person plural, nous appelons. We call ourselves. Nous appelons. And in the second person plural, it is vous appelez. Notice that the conjugation of the verb changes depending on the subject we are using. If it is je, it is appelle. Je m'appelle. Tu t'appelles. For nous, it is appelons, and since appeler is a reflexive pronoun, we say nous appelons. We call ourselves. And vous appelez. You call yourselves. So these are the 4 cases where we use this question most probably. So now you know how to use this question in a conversation, and you also know how to respond or reply to that question if you are asked.